Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our second session with our theme of Connections, the 11th ACR Spiritual Support Squad. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about managing stress. I know COVID-19 is a difficult time for many, and we've had to adjust schedules, adjust time, what we do, and I can imagine that right about now the stress levels are maybe going to a level that we're having to manage. And so in this session we'll be talking about ways on how we can manage stress in the family system. And so I ask you a question as we begin. What are you doing to manage the stress in your life during this COVID season? What are you doing? What has been working and what has not been working? And taking a step back and examining these things and seeing where we can adjust and make things better. I just want to remind you during this COVID-19 season to take a step back. Stop what you're doing. Smell the roses. Enjoy life. Let's not focus on all the negativity that is happening around us, but let's take this time as a positive, as a time to build connections with each other. Build connections with your spouse. Get down to your kids' level. Build connection with them. Play with them, ride bikes, and we're going to get into this here soon, but take the time to smell the roses. In other words, are you taking the time to enjoy your spouse and your children? What I've seen is we have distractions, even when we are at home. This is the era of social media, Netflix, of apps, of Zoom and other platforms, which are not negative. I'm not saying that, but they become negative when they are distractions to managing and living together. And so I just encourage you to turn off. Have times where you put your phone on silent and your phone on mute, where it's just you and your spouse or you and your children. Enjoy that time, because your spouse needs your undivided attention. Your kids need undivided attention. It helps them to mature and to become healthy, productive citizens in life. And so a couple of suggestions is take a walk, playtime, play with the kids. And then family time together. And, there's several possibilities of make a movie night, make some popcorn, come together as a family, minimize distractions if possible, build those connections. And then I ask you, are you taking time for self, individually, husband and wife, single soldiers, and different relationships? What are you doing to take time for self? Several suggestions. Exercise time, making time for exercise. Reading. This is a good time to work on your reading list. Quiet time. Have quiet time where you're meditating. Prayer, maybe walking, quiet time by yourself, taking a walk, meditating, focusing on the good things that are happening in your life and in your relationship instead of all the problems that you can't fix or haven't been resolved. Journaling, if you like to write, if you're artistic, and art, painting things and sketches, and it helps to express and it helps to relieve some of the stress, and it helps to get your thoughts on something other than just in your mind, where you're ruminating on all these things and not processing it in a healthy way. And so focus on what you can control and not on what you cannot control. I know we like to be in control, and this COVID-19 season has interrupted our schedule. And the things that we were used to doing, visiting family down the hill, or going out to Victorville, or doing these certain things have been hindered. And we cannot control any of that, but focus on what you can control. And what we can control is our attitude, our perspective, the way we look at things, which will help us to manage our stress. And so, control yourself, your own self. In other words, you are responsible for your own actions and not the actions of your spouse or others. You're not responsible for other people's actions, but you are responsible for your own actions, what comes out of your mouth and what you do with your hands and your feet and with your members of your body. You are responsible for that. And so we have in life consequences for our actions. And so just remember that you are in control of your own self. I know in relationships we try to control one another, control the spouse, and maybe you're in a relationship where you feel that brings peace to you, to be in control, to know this and to know all these things, and if you're having issues with that, seek out help. Trust is a foundation of every relationship. There has to be a level of trust. I know in being in control, we try to change our spouse or change the person we are in a relationship with. And I ask you, how is that working for you? I've been married 23 years to a beautiful lady, mother of my children, my helpmeet. And I've been through the marriage process, and I've as I matured, I had to come to realization that I cannot control my spouse. The only person I can control is myself. The only person I can change is myself. I can impact change, but I can't make people change. And so with that mindset, with that process, with that mindset, we have to look within ourselves and see, where are we causing problems in the relationship? And what are we doing? It's not always your spouse that's the problem. We have to take the time to look in the mirror and see, what can I change? What can I do during this stressful time to impact change in my wife, in my spouse, in my significant other? If that's washing the dishes, if that's vacuuming, if that's saying a nice word instead of being negative, what can we do to live in a healthy relationship, minimizing the stress during the COVID-19 season? And so, quit trying to change your spouse, who you have no control over. Instead, begin to change yourself. And in changing yourself, you will impact change in your spouse. And so I just want to recap before we close with this session of connections. Number one, are you stopping to smell the roses? Take time. Take time with your family. Number two, focus on what you can control and not on what you cannot. And number three, own yourself. Impact change. Hope you are blessed, encouraged. Put some of these things to practice. Comments are welcome. Go forward. If you need help, The 11th ACR chaplains are here during this time. Just reach out. MFLAC, phone call away. Also, we have Military One Source. We do have certain platforms we can use that are secure to provide counseling if you don't feel safe exiting your home. We are here for you. Reach out. PM, Battle Shepherd, Bengal Shepherd, and the RSS chaplain. Reach out. Pack Horse chaplain. We're here for you. Blessings.